The new Ryan Reynolds film sensation Free Guy about an NPC living inside a video game is a streaming and cinema smash.
NPCs living inside a video game?
Now where the flip have I heard that before?
There is no easy way to say this. This world, it's a video game.
As I explain why you are actually living in a video game.
Play a video game.
What we call life is a big, complex, simulated game. I watched Free Guy, so here it is. The ultimate 100% NPC, life is a video game, VR, sandbox, MMO, RPG, nuts and guts, helter-skelter, slip-sliding, hip-gliding, motherfudging take on Free Guy, life in a video game. Ryan Reynolds plays Guy, an NPC or non-player character.
Who, if you don't know, are the characters in the video game who are not playable. They're just there to add life and texture to the game, while you and or your character merks them.
You're a non-player character. A background person. Someone designed to make the game more fun for real people.
Guy works as a bank teller and spends his time with his best friend Buddy, unaware his world is a video game.
Here, we get a big slice of Groundhog Day, where the NPCs repeat the same actions every day. Bit like this world, really.
The storyline kicks off when NPC Guy starts to think independently from his script, which upsets the other NPCs.
Medium coffee, cream 2 sugars.
Actually, I think I'd like to try a cappuccino today. Ooh, cappuccino. I enjoy saying that. It's like a waterfall made of letters.
Excuse me?
I'd like to try a cappuccino.
The video game world called Free City is filled with these NPCs who play host to the real players.
If you wear sunglasses, you're a player. You're jacking in and playing inside the game, knowing that you're inside a video game. Whereas the NPCs don't wear sunglasses.
She's wearing sunglasses. We don't mess with the sunglasses people.
And when he does put the sunglasses on, he sees the game. This is an interesting concept given that Facebook wants to start the next metaverse, which could be incredibly similar to Free City. For one, they own Oculus, and they also just released these.
There's also more Easter eggs in this film than at a Cadbury's chocolate factory.
Like?
Captain America and the Hulk, also owned by Disney.
Hold on. Is that a taxi? Yes!
Star Wars, lightsabers, also owned by Disney.
Mind you, what isn't?
The Shining, Grand Theft Auto Online, Groundhog Day, The Matrix,
The Truman Show, Ready Player One, as well as a reference to Fortnite, I think, as well as numerous others. This film also becomes like Spot the Reference or Easter Egg. In fact, you could even go so far as to describe the film as a mashup between The Truman Show meets The Matrix, meets Ready Player One, with a dash of They Live, and a massive chunk of Grand Theft Auto Online, thrown in for good measure.
I quite like the running commentary from Twitchers and Twatters and YouTubers who are watching Guy's progress as he levelled up inside the game.
It raises an interesting question, doesn't it? If this is a giant video game,
What if we're being watched and judged in base reality? What if there are streamers and YouTubers or the equivalent who are commenting on everything we do throughout our lives, judging every action we take and commenting on it?
perhaps that's why sometimes we have the feeling of being watched. Ooh, creepy.
Coming soon! Free City 2! Bigger, better, radder!
I thought they missed a trick with this film because they don't enter the game, they use a screen to play the game.
I think they should have jacked into this game via a VR headset like they do in Ready Player One.
That would have made these bits where they're in the game more understandable.
But hey, I ain't no movie critic.
I don't think it'll be long before Free City in VR is a reality, with VR technology progressing at its current rate. In the film, the code for the game was stolen by Taika Waititi's character, who renamed the game Free City. Originally, it was titled Life Itself by the two indie developers.
If I was going to design an immersive VR holiday type experience for your bored out of its mind, utopian post-human being, I'd call it Better Than Life.
In Free Guy, they allude to base reality being quite boring.
How many times a day are the banks robbed in your world?
Hardly ever, Guy.
What about corpses, Millie? You see a lot of those? How many an hour?
None per hour, Guy.
I've said this before, that base reality is likely to be incredibly boring. And so has Elon Musk. Roll the clip.
I think most likely, this is just about probability, there are many simulations. These simulations are, we might as well call them reality, or you could call them the multiverse.
These simulations, you believe, are created? Like someone has manufactured?
They're running on a substrate.
So...
that substrate is probably boring.
Boring?
Mm-hmm.
How so?
Well, when we create a simulation, like a game or a movie, it's the distillation of what's interesting about life. You know, like it could take a year to shoot an action movie. And then that's all distilled down into 2 or 3 hours. So I think most likely, if we're a simulation, it's really boring outside the simulation. Because why would you make a simulation that's boring? Because make the simulation way more interesting than base reality.
The point is that if your world is boring and safe, you will seek out experiences that you can't get in your normal world. A video game is a distillation of reality.
A video game about life would be a short distillation of our real life, up there in base reality. That's why I would call it Better Than Life, because it's a distillation of all the things that make life, life.
When Guy realises that he doesn't exist, he has, like many of you have probably had already, an existential crisis. His best friend Buddy gives this answer.
What would you do if you found out that you weren't real?
I say, okay, so what if I'm not real?
I'm sorry. So what?
Yeah, so what?
But if you're not real, doesn't that mean that nothing you do matters?
What does that mean? Look, brother, I am sitting here with my best friend trying to help him get through a tough time, right? And even if I'm not real, this moment is. Right here, right now. This moment is real. I mean, what's more real than a person trying to help someone they love? Now, if that's not real, I don't know what is.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Even if we're not real and we are inside a video game, we're here now, aren't we? So it must be for something.
Sophie's character tells Guy that he needs to level up before they can talk.
Wait, how will I know that I've leveled up enough?
Get over 100 and we'll talk.
Whoa.
So he goes off into the world and levels up by becoming the good guy, rather than go about trashing the place like all the other real players.
Leveling up is a part of all games. It's how you measure improvement. But what's the equivalent in our life?
In the game, the only way Guy knew he had a level was when he put the sunglasses on to see his heads-up display.
But what is the heads-up display in our life?
It would be really brilliant if we could just know our level and know what to do to progress to the next one.
I don't think it's as easy as be the good guy or be the bad guy. And sometimes it certainly feels like I'm stuck on a level. Perhaps we're just not meant to know what level we're on. And perhaps this isn't a video game that you can win.
Perhaps it's only the soul or the player of each of us that really knows. Perhaps it's your soul that decided the type of experience it wanted you to have so that it could gain the relevant XP points it needed to level up an aspect of itself.
Which is going to upset you because it's not about you, the human being you. And your ego is now triggered because the ego is part of the human you. See?
The soul is the you behind the sunglasses.
In the game, they know it's a game.
But in this game called life, only some of us know it's a game. And the rest are best left plugged in.